All right, I've fallen a bit behind the Knytt Symposium podcast. This is going to be episode 2. I think there's 5 out already, so I got some catching up to do. One error from last time. I said this was Lucinda's podcast, and she was interviewing Marcel in the first episode. Apparently, it's both of their podcasts. And in this episode, it's going to be Marcel interviewing Lucinda. And then moving forward, I guess they'll be doing it together. I'm not sure. But it's theirs cooperative thing. And I also needed to put out a disclaimer. Something went wrong with Lucinda's microphone as she was recording this, so her audio quality is a bit not great apparently, but should still be fine. Alright, while we're listening to this, I'm gonna play some randomized Lucinda levels, or level, I don't know how that's gonna go. Let's check out, it's gonna be EST randomized. So yeah, let's perhaps mute the music right in game, because I think the podcast is gonna have music. So yeah, let's get it started.
Welcome everyone to the second episode of Knytt Symposium. I'll be your host today, X, and my guest is, and the co-host is Lucinda, who's in the spotlight at this time.
Let me know if there's
so
audio
who
issues.
Are you in the Niflas Games community?
I am. I think
fine.
people know me as a person who talks in the Discord a lot, because
Yeah.
what happened is that in September, I was getting back into Knytt stories, and at the same time, I felt like I was using social media too much, and I made a pledge to myself to no longer go on social media or read the news. And what I had left was Knytt Discord. So I think that is the main reason I talk on there so much.
Oh, so that was in the fall 2022.
Yes, I think like September or October.
She's using the KS Discord as an outlet for her like addiction to social media. That's not super charming, is it? Well, whatever helps, I guess. Getting off social media is always a good thing. And why doesn't the media buttons work for pause play?
It feels like a much longer time to me, but maybe that's just because you
Lucinda is quite
solidified
recent.
yourself within the community so well already.
Well, that could be it. Thank you for...
It's quite recent that she joined. It's funny. She joined sort of as soon as I stopped streaming a lot. So that's kind of funny. We got Marcel in chat. Cutting the silence between words too harshly. I was gonna mention that. It really sounded like she was her talking was edited. There's no pauses. Waterfall trees, yes. All right, let's go.
It's nice to hear that. But I also made a level maybe 6 years ago.
Shalev.
So I think people might know me from that. Some might remember that level.
What was the level?
It's pretty good look.
Shalev?
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I thought this one. I thought Shalev was a recent level, but it's not. Okay.
Yeah, that.
I think. Okay.
You playtested that level actually.
Oh really? I did.
That's
Yes,
coin.
you did.
I don't remember.
You're in the
No.
credits.
I remember.
You're in the
setting
credits.
an app for it, but did I ever even give you feedback? Any feedback? Do you remember?
I remember that everyone who said they were going to playtest the level playtested it. So, and I put your name in the credits. So I'm gonna assume you playtested it. Although I don't remember what your feedback was. It was probably feedback that I used.
Yeah, I had back then. I had a bad habit of just being excited
These
to play.
wave
different
heights might be
levels before they
problematic.
release. I would sign up to test them, and then I wouldn't like give feedback, or I wouldn't know what to say. So I'm afraid that might have been the case. here.
You're like,
You just wanted to play him early.
That reminds me of in journalism, like you get sent so much free stuff, so you can just like listen to the music and never review it. It's like being a freeloader.
Later on I realized how bad that is. So I just stopped ripping people off like that. I mean, I even did that with Knytt Underground. Niflas was looking for people to playtest Knytt Underground. Yeah, I signed up. I got the game for free, and I gave 0 feedback.
Oh my god, you ripped off Niflas?
But I'm just gonna say that I gifted the game after that twice.
Okay.
So, but anyway,
That's fair. Yeah.
we were talking about. So you released Shalev. That would be like around 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and around that time you were already active on the
Oh,
phone.
okay.
Very
so you did get
lightly. I
feedback.
think
Alright,
I decided I
Redemption.
didn't want to say anything until I had a level to drop. I kind of wanted to surprise people with a level out of nowhere. So I think my first post on the forum was asking for beta testers. And then, the level came out, and
Yeah.
I think, people liked it. Couple people said some really nice things. And then I guess life just got in the way. And I went on and I did a bunch of other stuff and kind of, yeah. There was like a 5-year break of me not playing Knytt Stories, or like 4 or 5-year break.
It's like a lot of people had that
Yeah,
experience,
so I think
including me.
people
Yeah.
may have remembered my level, and then I have made a random comeback, and I've released 1 more level,
Oh, I didn't see this
and
comment.
I'm working on a 3rd. So yeah, I think I'm known for those things.
So you're a KS level creator
Yes,
now.
I think now
podcast
she's
host,
that's true.
and
Talker
you're
and
also
creator.
making music for KS levels. Is that right?
Wow, you make me that you're wow. Now you're like listing all my accomplishments, and now I just
Isn't
feel
that the
good about
fun?
myself. So thank you. I
You
made
should.
2 songs for the remake of The Machine. I covered the 2 of the Kevin Chow songs. The one
know if
with
I've
the
heard any of her music.
orchestral instrumentation, because I have a soft spot for those songs. And
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to
Oh, there's a blog.
hearing all.
It's
of
hard to see the
remixes,
blogs.
In the Machine remake, it's gonna be really
I'm looking
great,
forward
I
to that
think.
for sure.
All that music, I think all of you have done a really great job with that.
yeah, I played through a beta and
A
one
beta?
of the betas, and it's definitely
You
The
better.
music is definitely going to bring this level, the remake idea, a whole new level.
Oh,
and
let's
there's some
release
really
that
good
remake
covers
then.
on there. So, and I'm also I made an entire soundtrack for an upcoming Polana level, although it has like 20 songs on it. But yeah,
That's
she's
crazy.
still. I just used a bunch of tracks that I have never released. I have like a couple dozen songs, maybe like 50 or 100 songs I've never released, and it's about time that they go somewhere.
That's still very nice. I mean, 20 songs for
That's a lot of
KS
music.
original soundtrack. I think it might be
And this
breaking
water
the
is
record.
distraction.
Yeah, I think.
It's not. For
No,
Forgotten
no.
Realm breaks that record.
Yeah, but it's still a big achievement. I think. and
you
Lana
can't
is
compare
really,
yourself
really,
with
happy
VG.
to have something like that in her level, which we're all looking forward to
Oh yeah,
playing.
it's a
I
great
think.
level. I've tested it a couple times, and yeah, I think she's a little bit busy right now, so we're
Oh, that
gonna
kills.
have to
Keep
wait a bit
forgetting.
longer for that. But yeah, I think that I'm sort of starting to have people are have recognized that I make music a little bit. So that is
I'm not gonna get
something
that, dude.
I guess I'm known for.
Okay, thank you. That was a great introduction.
Thank you.
Let's ask you, how did you find out about Knytt Stories?
Let's see. So, do you know the game Seekless?
Which one? I'm not sure.
It's it's
Sequence?
not a Nifless game. It's spelled Seiklus, and it's very similar.
Oh,
to the first
Cyclist.
Knytt
Yeah,
game,
it's the
but
same as
they're less
Drakan.
squares
I need to
and
play that
more
game.
Wiggly lines. It came out in 2003,
Oh
and
yeah.
in not high school. Yeah, my path to Nifless was a little less typical. When the Knytt games came out, I was not aware of indie gaming whatsoever.
Career
I was
GC back,
playing
yes.
The Sims all day and all night. It was my favorite.
Can I
And
get
I
this
guess
coin?
Knytt and The Sims do have something in common. You can sort of create these environments. That's a big part of the experience. I was really into that. And what happened was, in college I had this friend, and where do I begin? Okay, so in college I got really into indie gaming because I took this class called The History and Technology of Video Game Music. There was a poster for it.
That
on
sounds
a
like an
pinboard.
awesome
Oh,
class.
interesting.
What the
And
hell?
I didn't have a class to take for one of my slots, so I just signed up for it. And being in this class, I developed a rabid desire to play indie games, and I played Fez. That's probably the most
Ugh.
memorable game
Sorry.
from that time period
I
that
do
I
not
played
like
it in.
Fez.
And then, I told my friend that, I was all into indie gaming, and he showed me this game, Seekless. I thought it was amazing. And what happened
gotta
maybe
play
like
that game.
6 or 7 months later is that friendship ended, and I was very down about it.
Friendship
and
ended with
I
Seekless.
searched
Now
Seekless on the
KS is
internet
best friend.
because I don't know, I was just trying to be nostalgic. And then the
Yeah.
TV tropes page for Seekless says on it, it inspired the games Knytt and an Untitled Story. And yeah, I tried Untitled
Oh.
Story, couldn't get into that one. And then
That's a very interesting way of finding about Knytt.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that I feel like
Pretty
it's a pretty
convoluted.
normal way to discover something, but I think that's not the case for a lot of people here who kind of like found it like when it came out.
Maybe not. Well, we all have different origin stories.
I'm gonna be able to open
and
the
I
GC
think,
gates early.
they're all very sentimental.
Was he always
You
that
might
color?
remember that thread where people were
I don't
talking
remember.
about how they found the game on the NIF
It
forum.
seems people like have a
Different.
ton of memories attached to a moment like that. Like I can remember the evening I first played KS
Wow.
and like the machine. I remember distinctly that I got to the icy, snowy area and got the umbrella.
Yeah.
No, that's
my
the
God.
hologram,
Yes.
and I was so excited. I finally got the hologram. But then it was,
That's so
realized
cute.
It was like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
and I just went to bed and I finished the level the next morning.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just remember that.
Wow.
Anyway, I just
I
I
played
guess if
Underwater
you've been
Adventure
playing
all
this
the
game
time.
for so long, like the origin story has to be sentimental by default. So I clicked
for
on
me.
this link to the game Knytt, and I was like, I think it was the title of the game that really grabbed my attention,
Let's see
and
here.
I was reading about it. I was reading about the creator of the game, and thinking like, okay, I gotta play this. And I, at the time, had an Apple computer,
Ugh.
so I could not download Knytt or Knytt Stories, but I could download Knytt Underground. So that was my first Nifless game, and
Oh.
I started playing it. I was playing it for a couple days, and I think then
It's funny that I always thought that anyone who plays like Underground first will become like the Underground fans in my Discord, where that's their Nifless game that they want people to play. I didn't know you could start with Underground and still be primarily a KS fan.
I became so obsessed with it so quickly, and I like went around telling my friends, this is the
Isn't there a
greatest thing
secret
I've
here?
ever discovered. Like, look at how giant this map is. I think I was really fixated on how big the map was, and I thought that was so
Map
cool.
is big.
And yeah, I just dedicated the next few months of my life to this game, and it was really powerful for me and like really important. And before long, I said like, okay, like what's next? This can't be the only Nifless game I'm going to play. And so I did a little bit of reading online, and there's this software called Wine Bottler that will just take a PC game app and make it playable on Mac. So I jumped right into Knytt Stories, and then Knytt and Within a Deep Forest, and I also played Night Sky, which has a Mac native version. And yeah, I was hooked. And I remember the first level I played was Journey to the Golden Land by Vegetal Gibber. I don't know why that was the first level I
That's a
played.
funny
It was
first
probably
level.
just like on the forum, like.
Oh no!
You could do much worse than playing the Golden Land.
It's
so
true.
that must have been a really good first impression.
Yes,
Well,
I
it's a
definitely.
meme level.
Yeah, I much prefer exploring the Golden Land to Journey to the Golden Land.
Well, yeah,
but
exploring
it made a
is
good
a real
impression
level.
on me for sure. I was hooked right away, and I,
I'm stuck,
spent all
yeah.
of my spring break like playing
no
levels.
way.
And I think the other levels I played at first were I played A Knytt in
She's too
Time
fat.
by Ego Massive. I played Awful Mountain Climber Restaurant by Healy, and I played Junie's Zoo by Frangip.
I'm not playing that one.
Yeah,
So-
I remember some of those.
Yeah, those were like my first 4 levels to my memory.
Sounds like an unusual bunch.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I
how
think
did
it
you
was
actually
just the things that were being discussed on the forum when I first
Find a
went
void?
on it.
Okay then, so that's how we discovered KS.
Time to cheat.
And we've
I
already
think I-
touched on the first levels you've
I haven't
played.
messed up the level
So
enough for
now,
voids
what
to be
about
everywhere.
Your history as a level designer. Was KS the first time you've played with a level editor or game dev? How was it?
I think, yeah, it was my first time making a level.
Triple jump?
Well, the only other thing that I've done like that was sometimes I made content for
It's
The
not
Sims,
enough, is it?
Sims 2 specifically, and I remember, so like in the Sims franchise, like nudism.
No, I
is
try
sort
to
of
be
a
quite
joke,
conservative.
And in, like one of the console games, there's a nudist colony, and so
So
in
I
The
think
Sims
we'll just
2, I
cheat
made
and
a nudist colony.
no one has to
and
say
I, like,
anything.
and they had like leaves. to like censor themselves, and
Wait, but it's like a
Oh,
mod
this part.
for the game or
yeah,
custom? I
you
don't.
could make like custom family or like custom like environments.
Well, it was all like inside the game. It was no external like.
Oh no, I guess yeah, it was not a mod. It was just like.
What, the
context
nudity
for
as well?
them. Yeah, because you could make
Okay,
like
fair.
people and lots and.
Sorry, I know nothing about the Sims.
Oh
so
yeah, yeah.
I'm asking.
What a
Space-
cool
Yeah,
guy.
I should have elaborated. But yeah, you can make like a custom like house with people in
Why are
it,
the
and like
crystals
you
so
could
random?
upload it to the community, and you can still do that with Sims 4. So I made this nudist colony and I uploaded it.
So that's
And
solid.
it was like this beautiful outdoor
That's
area.
solid.
They like lived
That's not-
outside, and the plot of the nudist colony was that there were like 2 nudists, and they were like experienced. And then there was like this guy with his clothes on, and he was like reluctant to join their like yeah. He was
Where's this
reluctant.
going?
And I guess like the storyline was like, can
Oh.
you get him to become a nudist? And I uploaded it to the what did you say?
Exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, very exciting. But then the Sims,
Well,
like,
sex sells,
you don't
I guess.
finish the story. Like, the idea is that the player takes the story into their own hands and, like,
can I
creates
knock it
their
back
own
up?
storyline, which is a big part of the Sims, like, culture and lore. And people, like, talk a lot about, oh, here's what I did with this family. Like, here's my
Culture
journey.
and lore.
And so anyway, I just uploaded it to the I guess you could call it an archive, and it was kind of a joke, but it got a lot of downloads, got a couple hundred downloads and like friendly comments, and people were excited about
Oh,
this
that's very nice.
specific lot. So I think that was really my main experience of creating custom content before Knytt Stories. But yeah, then I didn't make.
Could have just said you made some stuff for
when was
Sims.
that?
Oh gosh, it must have been
I
like
guess it's interesting.
2007,
Wow, so long time
very
ago.
long time ago.
That sounds like a nice way to make your first steps in the game content creation journey. So that was an
Sure,
interesting
Marcel.
anecdote.
Thank you.
It's generous
I
of
wonder
you to
about
say.
your, KS level editor beginnings.
I guess I'll start with the story of why I made a Knytt Stories
I don't
level.
remember this level. Where'd
so
I
I
go
was like
now?
very, into
Sure.
the game and playing all these wonderful levels. Like I think the level Harvest by Farik
Now that's a good
had a
level.
huge impact on me. And I sort of was getting bored of all the levels. I felt like there were none left to
nothing is
play,
solid?
even though there were so many left to play. And I just didn't know how to find the good one. So I decided, like, I should make a level. And I didn't feel any inspiration. I didn't know, like, what kind of level I would make. And so I found a perfect excuse to motivate me. I needed one more credit to graduate from college. And I had one professor who was into
I think I've heard this story.
multimedia experiments. And I pitched this idea to her and said, like, can I make a level for this game as my class? And you give me credit for it.
So that was a college project.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was
Very
It was a
interesting.
college project, and the professor, I thanked her in the credits. Her name is Felicia Chavez, shout out. And I should contact her and tell her about
I
this.
didn't like
but,
Harvest first time played it, really?
yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna make
I mean,
a
it's
level
not-
for my project, and then I just like
It's not
came up with
flawless,
some
but
idea
it's
really
definitely
quickly. I think that
enjoyable.
sort of the plot and concept was very quick and forced and ham-fisted,
Maybe too much
and
story for
but
me.
the design part, like creating an environment, I think that's what really excited me and motivated me through the creation. And I think that
Yeah.
I didn't receive any assistance while making the level. I had the level editor manual
Yeah, go.
by I don't know how to pronounce it,
I can go
Symposium.
back.
So it's a PDF
Yes,
file. Was it? It has to be very old.
that was my main reference
Maybe,
point.
maybe.
I think I've seen it. I mean, that's good. That means
Yeah, I'm not a huge
such
fan of
old
it, no,
document
so
that still
maybe-
holds some value, and even let someone create a
Right.
level.
Yeah,
Please.
it really is the only resource out there, from what I can tell.
Well, I do.
Like a resource you can just like look at, and then everything else I got from the beta test. You and Exilas and
Yeah,
Ego
me.
Massive gave me some like tips, like
Damn. That's some good
don't
help to
put
get.
plants on layer 3, and
Marcel,
here's
Ego,
a
and
wolf
Exilas.
limb, and
Hmm.
yeah. So
So that stuff is like the finishing touches,
Yeah.
polishing. It's still quite impressive that you managed to, in such a short time, release a level that's of this quality.
Okay.
It's a really, really good first level,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Oh, it's really good.
I made
first
it in a
level,
week.
yeah.
Oh,
Which
a
is
week.
crazy.
That's even more surprising.
Especially the overground
I think,
part.
well,
That's really...
But I went to this college that had an experimental schedule where you take only one class at a time.
I don't remember either,
for
'cause
3
I
weeks.
still haven't.
And so I think it had me there. Every class was like rapid, and you learned a ton of things in a very short amount of time. So I think I was used to doing things really quickly.
Is this a
and
fucking
that's
Among Us
probably
from the
why it only took
waterfall?
a
What
week.
the
I
hell, man?
suppose what we can do next
Damn
is
it, Randomizer.
discuss your 2 levels. Starting out with Shalev. Is that how you pronounce
Should I
it?
play
I
Shalev
believe
instead?
so. It's
Where the hell did I
a
go?
Hebrew word. I don't know how they would pronounce it, but
Right
I
here?
think you pronounced
Yeah.
it just fine by my standards.
Okay,
Freaking
so
Morgles.
the first thing that comes to mind, well, first thing, when you boot up the level, you see those pretty
That's not
cute
here, right?
illustrations for the opening cutscene.
Oh yeah.
That's the one element that always manages to make a level memorable. So
I'm looking
that was
forward
a
to it.
good.
But isn't this an
good
exit?
call.
Cool. And those are
And who
oh
Maybe
you,
not.
you
who drew them?
my friend Caroline drew them. She's just an
Sorry,
artist
I missed that.
I knew from
Drew
school.
what?
Was it? It has to be very old.
That was my main reference point.
I think I've seen it. I mean, that's good. That means it's such an old
Beautiful face.
document and still holds some value, and even let someone create a level.
Yeah.
Alright,
it
all this
really
part.
is the
Oh,
only
no.
resource out there.
Is this
from
gonna be
what I
fun
can
in
tell.
the
Like,
randomizer or
a
just the
resource
same?
you can just like look at, and then everything else I got from the beta test. Yeah, you and Exilos and
Yeah,
Ego
me.
Massive gave me some like tips, like don't put plants on layer 3, and
Good advice.
here's a wall swim, and yeah. So
So that stuff is like the finishing touches,
Yeah.
polishing. It's still quite impressive that you managed to in such a short time release a level that's of this quality.
Okay.
It's a really
That
really
quite a
good
fun.
first level,
Yeah.
I suppose.
thank you. I made it in a week,
Oh,
which
a
is
week.
crazy.
That's even more surprising. Yeah,
I think
that's
A
really
neat
but
flower.
I went to this college that had an experimental schedule where you take
I'm gonna
only
do
one
Shalev
class
instead,
at
and
a
if there's
time
time at the end,
for
we'll go
3
back to
weeks.
this.
And so
think
I
that's a
think
good
it
idea.
had me there. Every class was like rapid, and you learned a ton of things in a very short amount of time. So I think I was
Oh, I just
used
need to
to
look.
doing things really quickly, and that's probably why it only took a week.
I suppose what we can do next is discuss your 2 levels, starting out with Shalev. Is that how you pronounce it?
I believe so. It's a Hebrew word. I don't know how they would pronounce it, but I think you pronounced it just fine by my standards.
Okay, so
Shalev.
the first thing that comes to mind, well, first thing, when you boot up the level, you see those pretty cute illustrations for the opening cutscene.
Oh yeah.
That's the one element that always manages to make a level memorable. So that was a good call.
Cool. And those are
And who
oh you
who drew them?
my friend Caroline drew them. She's
Again, I
just
missed it.
an
Drew
artist
what?
Who drew make a level memorable? So waiting cute illustrations for the opening cutscene.
Oh,
yeah.
the
That's the
Shalev.
one element that always manages to make a level memorable. So that was a
This?
good call.
Cool. And those are
Oh, these.
oh you
Who drew them?
my friend Caroline drew them. She's
Oh, I
just
thought it was
an
her.
artist I knew from school, and yeah, she just whipped them up. I like
Whipped
made
them up.
KS screens to like to show her like my idea for what it would look like, and then she like
Oh my god.
created these beautiful illustrations that I don't even know how
It's gonna
she
be a lot of
imagined them.
bees.
They're so good. And yeah, she's like, she's an artist. I think she works in the esports industry now, so
Oh.
she's definitely a gamer.
That's
yeah.
very sweet of her. So the
Oh, that looks so cool.
design is leaning towards
Like, pumped up to the
open
log.
world layout. It takes advantage of I suppose the core KS design philosophy, which is to let the player explore, and as they
Metroidvania.
get more power-ups,
Mhm.
they can explore more of the levels. So maybe you can touch more about on your design philosophy, the map layout. How did you go
Good
about
question.
that?
It started on paper. I just kind of like had a piece of paper and like drew the level, and I think paper kind of has limitations. It's like a square. You can't like draw
Paper has
a really long
limitations.
linear level on it. So I think that's how it ended up being sort of like a square shape, and I just sort of improvisationally drew the map, and I can include the map in the podcast on the podcast page as a little bonus content. So, yeah. Well, that's why thank you.
That's a nice
I think
bonus.
I posted it before and people were excited, but
I never did a thing like that, designing on a
show you
paper.
what
Piece of
she
paper.
is talking
Sounds
about.
very interesting to me, and I think it worked out.
I haven't, I
Where's the
didn't use a
scene?
piece of paper for my other levels. So, I don't know. Maybe I should try it again.
Yeah, it's the very old school of level design.
I like the
Definitely
tree
helped
part.
people back in the day,
Yeah.
when the editors were even more, way more or less sophisticated.
Yeah.
So you made it on a piece of paper, and then you proceeded to build the level in the editor. And by that time, you already had separate areas planned out, correct?
Yeah, on the piece
It's a
of
good
paper, I
treatise.
drew the segment of the areas, and I wrote out the sequence of which you would get the power up. So I had
That was
the
there? I
whole
don't think so.
kind of storyline of the
Frank.
level, the arc sort of planned out in advance.
That's a really, that sounds like a
Just to see.
very solid way to go about making a level.
I think I should keep doing it, and more people should do it.
Yeah, that's a great advice. If I ever
Planning
make another
levels?
level, it'll be exactly like that.
Oh.
Now I'm excited to try
cool.
some sketching on paper.
Yeah, maybe it'll inspire the next level. Maybe that's the inspiration you need.
Maybe
That's pretty
so.
pog.
Let's see. Anything that stood out to you as you were making the level? Any, how do you say it? Reflections on designing your first project like that?
I think I had a lot of fun with the default tile set, and
Oh yeah, there used
Yeah,
to
this use of the
quite
machine tile
create
set, like
very,
opening
I have to
area, is
say,
so
it's
good.
always,
It doesn't even like feel like
a
it.
challenge to find the two tile sets you want to combine, and then create a level screen out of that. And I'm
Doom and
I have
Quake
to
maps,
say
that's cool.
there are some nice choices here, especially in the opening area. They all
Yeah, like
look-
this area
looks,
looks like disregard the
quite
waterfalls,
original,
but
Oh,
I have
thank
to
you.
say.
this is such a good use of the
I
desert
think
tile
that
set.
the one thing that stood
Mixing
out
it
to
with
me
blue.
was that some of the areas, like just a couple things, took forever to figure out. Like the spooky forest, I probably made like 4 different versions of it.
Really? That's
Just
such a
kind of not knowing what it looked
forgettable
like
area.
at all. So for that one, kind of took some time to realize. But then I'm like, oh, I should just make it a stereotypical spooky forest, and then the problem was solved. And
Yeah,
then
it's quite
the other
stereotypical.
thing that I took too long to do was in the area with the caves. I didn't know what color the background was going to be, and like I went through every background or like every default gradient and like took screenshots of like my favorites, and then I remember I like sent it to my boyfriend boyfriend at the time, or I guess he was already my ex-boyfriend by that point. He becomes more relevant later because he did all the music. But I like sent them, and I'm like, which one do you like best?
Boyfriend arc.
And so I was in a huge period of indecision. And then one other thing that happened was I discovered custom tile sets near the end of
was
the
easy.
level development. So you can see like some small sections that use custom tile sets, but they're all like really tiny areas that are more like bonuses. And I think that's
Wait,
reflective of the fact that I
that's a big
discovered it
problem,
very
actually.
late. And I'm like, oh, I gotta throw this in. Look at these pretty tile sets. I simply have to include them. And the the tile set folder for the level contains a bunch of tile sets I didn't use, which is so funny. Like those are all the tile sets I had
Oh, yeah.
discovered.
You're talking about
You
like
were
the
just
museum
very
area now
excited
at the
to
end that just has
try
random
a
stuff.
bunch of facets you found. I can understand that.
Yeah, and there's also a song in
Also
there
double
that I
jump.
didn't use.
gonna be
So
hard to
if
skip
anyone
anything
is
without it.
interested in a bonus Shalev track, they can go find it. But yeah,
Oh.
the music, the guy I was dating at the time, he did not understand why I liked Knytt at all. He's just like, yeah, you and your game. But I asked, he was a really good
You and your
musician, and I
goddamn
asked
game.
him like, hey, look, can I just use your music for my level? And he said, go ahead. And so yeah, all the music is by him. And I think it adds a really unique texture to the level. It creates a very specific mood, especially because all the music is by one musician. So that's maybe one of my favorite aspects
Oh,
of the
yeah.
level, personally.
Okay,
Hey,
so
boom.
yeah, this time you didn't go crazy
I need
with
to go all the way
bonus
up,
and
probably,
hidden
right?
endings, which I suppose for some people those are a staple for
yeah.
a case like
Actually,
that.
the
At least
umbrella was
one
randomized
but
in,
it's
I
not like
think.
there's
So
a
maybe there's
chaos
hope.
Bible written about that. You're fine. So
I don't think I
okay,
even knew
let's
how to
see.
make alternative endings.
I liked how you put pieces of lore and trivia on the bookshelves to read and That was a really cute way of putting them in the level,
Oh,
I
thanks.
thought.
In school, I took a class about Africa, or it was about African literature, and we learned a lot about colonization. So, like, I had colonization, like, front and center in my mind, and it just inevitably went into the level as a, like, invasion and, like, slavery.
I see.
And
Wanted their
I
jewels,
don't know
huh?
if, like, slavery is a plot point in my level, but, like, yeah, we were just learning about all these topics, and so they inevitably went into the plot.
Like a tribe
Mhm.
invasion, like a
Yes.
resource war.
Yeah,
something like that.
along those lines.
Like almost like an environmental message,
Yeah.
maybe. You know?
Yeah.
But I guess it falls under the video game, not just video game, but it's very prominent in KS.
What's going on this screen?
The trope of looking for a kind of a nature
Yes.
artifact, the snowflake.
Shouldn't the yellow
Yeah,
my
be
level,
here?
it was a
The
flower,
other
for
example I
example.
thought of immediately.
Yeah.
Flower, and can you think of anything else? I'm sure there's many examples. I guess there's don't eat the mushroom, because you gather.
Or do not pick up the key.
Yeah.
There's keys also. Tree of
Oh, yeah.
knowledge.
Oh
the
yeah, is that
Eagle
oh yeah.
Monster.
Although that level has not been released.
Yeah, but there's
Spoilers.
Or another example would be red flower,
Yes.
which we mentioned before. Yeah, you could just sit here and bring up.
I want to
many
say a
new
few more
examples.
just because I'm on a roll now. You know, Journey to the Golden Land, you're looking for, this beautiful landscape. There's Dark Sky of Wish Mountain, you're looking for a mountain.
You're listing levels where you're looking for something?
Yeah.
I guess Sky Flower, you're kind of inside the flower. You're not like looking to grab the flower, but anyway, yeah, you make a good point. I guess one more thing is the bees. Like there's like a beehive in the tree area, and then there's a secret area that's like
That's
a school
good.
for bees, where there are like humans teaching bees like at an elementary school level, and to yeah,
What was
just
the
a little
secret?
three screen area above the spooky forest with
The Shalef
Yeah.
Anthopelia Academy. I mispronounced it.
Where am I supposed to get the code?
Anthopelia. I suppose that means science about
Yeah.
bees, or
I think it means like the love of
other
bees.
kind of insects.
Yeah.
For the
Bee-
love
When
of
you're A,
bees.
B,
Best
C, yeah, and then I have a bunch of
that
characters
was
saying
funny.
like, oh, I love teaching bees, and
let's
you've got
see.
one guy that tells you what the end. He like spoils the ending for you, which is awful. And then there's all these bees.
Well, maybe I go here.
And I think it's kind of funny how like these bees could kill you like at any moment, even though it's like a joke area. So yeah. Just to fuck you up, and
Yeah.
I really just put that in there for shits and gigs. So yeah, I think that's all I
Shiggies
have
and
to say about
giggies.
Shalev right now.
Yeah, I think that
Oh,
that
thank
was
you.
a good one. Good secret area there. I think it makes up for the.
I'll try to get to the
lack of,
secret area if I can
secret
survive
enemies.
anything.
More than enough. So next
Wait,
level. Last episode we talked about how to spell Knytt and Niflas, and this time you could maybe
There's supposed to be
clarify
something
how
to stand
this
up.
one spell Vleindergurk, the name of your next level.
I think in with an
Vleindergurk,
American
way too
accent,
story
you would say
based.
Vleindergurk, although I'm sure
Oh.
a European person could have a more interesting pronunciation. And
So that level.
What was the code? I
over
don't
5
remember.
years later. So you had a 5-year break from
Where's
level
the
making
code?
during that time. So what made you come back with a vengeance to make this level?
well, what happened was, let's see. Well, I have a
Maybe one of the
boyfriend,
books.
and he and I have, since the beginning of our relationship, we've sort of played games on and off. Like we played Yoshi's Island together. I had replayed
Alright,
it.
I'm
with
just
the
gonna
first
brute
time,
force
and
the
then,
code.
Let's see. Then we were really into
Oh, I
Hollow
made
Knight
it.
for a while. That was like we were both all in on that. And then there's this game, Mini Motorways. We like.
Oh, Mini
and,
Motorways. I
that is all
play
to
that.
say that one day, well,
I'm
I've
not
been
artistic
telling him
enough
about
for it,
Knytt
though.
stories sort of the whole time, like, oh, there's this really
But that's a
amazing
new game, isn't
I
it?
haven't played it in a long time. And then one day I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna show you this game. And so I downloaded it onto his computer because he had a he has like a virtual machine on his Mac. And then we just played a couple levels.
Dating a
and
Mac
I'm
user?
just
What?
like, shit, this game is so good. Like, I gotta start playing this game again. And I decided I was gonna make a new level right away because my boyfriend and I had this inside joke like this kind of inside joke universe we came up with. Because, oh man, this is a long story. So, at some point, maybe like a year before I started making the level, I was telling him about how there's this nuclear waste repository in Finland, and they made a documentary about it called Into Eternity. And then I was telling him that one thing experts have suggested to keep people away from this facility, like long term, because this nuclear shit's going to be around for a really long time. And so one thing that experts have come up with as a way to keep people away from these nuclear facilities is to come up with like a folk song that could be passed down through the generations that could like create a cultural myth to stay away from the nuclear repository. And then I told my boyfriend about this, and he immediately just came up with this ridiculous song that goes, "Don't go near Vlindergurk," and he pulled the word Vlindergurk out of nowhere.
Oh,
and that song is in the level. We made it, we sang it.
That was
it's there.
Something
so,
you don't expect to hear.
Well, it sounded like an inside joke. No wonder I didn't understand it.
Thank you. Thank you. And then we spent time coming up with this. Sorry to interrupt. I'm really on a roll explaining the origin story. So then, sort of over the next like 6 months or so, we sort of would kind of come up with different Vlindergurk concepts. We were saying like, oh, what if it was a comedy movie?
So Vlindergurk is supposed to be a Finnish word.
Futuristic society that was like that didn't have a lot of technology, and they based their whole culture around not going to this nuclear waste repository, and it was like their whole culture and their like religion and obsession, and I guess it was kind of like an inside joke that we had. And then when I started playing Knytt stories again, I thought, this Vlindergurk concept we have would be a good Knytt stories level. So
would it?
That's why I made it.
That's a nice backstory. That's something like that is a. I guess it was good that you had this tool at your disposal to make this level, make this idea into a medium. Yeah, and I really it was
so
very.
good.
I found it very, very fun, this whole idea of this forbidden place.
It's a fun idea, yeah.
And all the jokes inside the NPCs say that was just hilarious, I thought. So
it's more funny now that I understand the backstory.
Stuck out to me was when you're inside a building. In the interior, you have the background with the falling snow. It looks really nice. It's like the abstract kind of type of design you saw in some, SNES RPGs, I suppose. And your
cool.
interior design is also spot on, I think.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to make that more part of my signature style.
Yeah, you use the tilesets very well, I think, and it gives the level some character for sure.
So these guys are categorized as hollow enemies,
was not designed,
I guess, which is why they're not randomized.
So how did you plan out this one?
I think I just improvised as I went along. And I didn't know what was going to be at Vlindergurk when you finally got there. It was all made up as I went along.
Or at least the custom tiles she was talking about.
That's
custom
the
objects,
old school way
stuff.
of creating case levels.
Totally.
Well, not
and I
I
used
don't think
weight.
it's old school. I wanted to say orthodox. Maybe that was the better word there.
It's kind
Nice
of like the standard way.
Yeah, more of a standard. Let's see. So there's more custom tilesets in this one. And some custom backgrounds, I thought. Are there any custom gradients as well?
This is the cave. She didn't know what background to use.
I think there might be one or two, but I don't remember. I think it's mostly default gradient.
Right, and also in this one we don't really have custom illustrations, but we have some memorable set pieces. Anyway, like the part where the art piece is getting burned, and there's this night sky background.
I remember that
nice,
part.
And that was drawn by my friend Mindy, who also drew the icon. She's my childhood friend, and she's a professional art teacher, so she's got some skills.
Oh, that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, and the other endings had like photos, like the creepy one with the dungeon or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's
Marcel
like
just looking
those
for
are all just taken on
world
from
folder or
Wikipedia, like
level
Creative
folder.
Commons stuff.
I see. So how long did it take you to finish this level? To finish making this level?
3 months, and then what happened was I think Ego Massive play tested it, and he said there needs to be custom objects, there needs to be like custom
What do you mean
bugs,
needs to
and
be?
then that made the level take like another month to finish.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
2 out
I
of 10 no
started spending all
seals.
this time making custom Knytt
Oh, whoops.
and monsters, and
Okay.
so yeah,
Right.
this level's my first journey into like custom graphic making.
So the level took longer because Ego demanded more custom content.
Yes.
That's fine.
Demanded.
But I guess it made the level better in the end. Yeah, there's a bunch of KS Plus stuff. I was a bit surprised when I saw the custom
We
creatures.
go back now?
Good job on that.
Thanks.
I can't remember. Is there
I think we
any?
go
Are there any more KS Plus features? Oh yeah, that's the important moment when you reach Vlandergurk and turn into the Square Man from the Square Man's adventure.
Yes.
Yeah, that came out of the left field.
Why is there a block there?
Yeah,
What?
he was
inspired
doing
you to do
custom.
that?
Soft
I
block?
guess I just wanted Uni to mutate into something, and I was looking through the custom characters folder, and it's like, oh, well, this looks like some weird mutant creature. So
Is
and
that always
his
there?
walk is so
That's,
weird.
isn't this the route in the
Yeah,
speedrun?
definitely
You
mutant.
don't get all the keys.
I think it
that
fulfilled
random?
its
Would it be?
purpose, shocking the player.
Ah.
I was very curious as to what the Forbidden Vlandergurk place was, and then that metamorphosis yeah, it's a great surprise. So there's
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah?
oh yeah. There's a
Good
lot of like
surprise.
little kind of plot details, like visual details, like in the Vlandergurk. There's like these
No.
runes on the
No, I don't think
mountain.
the speedrun ever goes into that pink
that's
house
supposed
place.
that's like referenced earlier in the
Or does it? I don't
the
think
level.
so.
It's explained, and the runes are supposed to be like a warning that
Are
say
these-
like turn back
what's
now,
going on
but
here?
you know
So-
it's in a language that is like a dead language, so you can't understand it.
so there's no way of reading it actually.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a sign saying like, look
What
at
is
these
going on with
beautiful
these
runes.
invisible
We don't know what they
blocks?
mean, but they're a beautiful fixture
Are
of
they?
our town. And the
Hold
music
on,
is
hold on,
all
hold on. Yeah, I mean, no out of bounds either. Did you categorize the blocks as ghost objects? Or something like that? Man, you need to update these categorizations if that's the case. These blocks should not be ghosts, and the folder droppers should not be hollow enemies. I know there can be like some levels that use them as like hollow gate, but you could do that with so many different enemies, so Glip, please fix.
acoustic because there's no electricity in this world.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
I've noticed there in this level in particular there's a lot of NPCs and they have a lot of interesting dialogue, and I think that's always a good thing to put in the level. You know, NPCs that have something interesting to say. We also did a good job with adding some custom ones, especially in the LSD village, or however it was called. A bunch of
Yeah, LSD Village.
colorful
Great way.
characters there.
Yeah, LSD Village is a really great way to describe it, and one person I'm really proud of
What do
is
you
I
mean a
tried to
categories
make like a
file?
Scottish guy with
Don't you have
bagpipes, and I don't know if that came across, but I like looked at pictures of Scottish guys with bagpipes, and I made that dude.
Which one?
Let's see, he's on the screen with the sculpture.
Okay, let me find this. Oh, this one.
He's like a custom object.
Man, you need to make this
Oh,
like a
sad.
video
Yeah,
podcast.
I can kind of see that.
If you're
now
gonna
that
be
you've
using
described it.
some
Yeah, it's
examples.
very, very colorful and creative. How you?
Well,
design
I just
those
told
guys.
you the
I'm like looking at him right now.
problems.
That's a dude. I had a lot. I like making custom people in my next level.
Right, there was that, and it was like you have 3 different liquid categories, like waterfalls, liquids, and liquid surfaces. But then liquids includes all of them, so it's kind of stupid. I wish you would separate those. So it's the blue guys not being hollow enemies, and ghost blocks not being ghosts.
Will
I believe
have
in you.
a good amount of custom people too, although There's a lot. There's like some that I just want to like rip from Niflis or Salmonius.
Hello?
Some good characters. So
Yeah.
there might be some of those.
So with your second level, you managed to put some.
I have to go through the cave
endings. There's 3 of them. So I suppose there's one, a very bad one, where you end up locked in a cell. The good one where you rescue a guy that was banished, and a kind of alternate ending where you decide to live in the LSD village. Do you see that as is that a good ending or a secret ending? How do you see that?
I see it as kind of like an okay ending. Like, you know, you
It's
run
between.
away. Yes. You kind of. There's a lot of that in the United States. Probably, I don't know about Europe, but
lot of what?
You know, there's like festival like that, and there's not too far from where I grew up. There's kind of like a village of squatters that's kind of like that, and they all live in RVs and like make junk art. So I think the LSD village is based on some real places in the United
just lost
States.
a block here.
And I guess I kind of just wanted to make fun of them because they're all so full of themselves. They're like, we don't need society. We're so unique. We're so artsy. So I don't know.
I mean, I guess there's a place like that in
Take a stab at
Copenhagen,
them.
right?
Yeah, it
Christiania.
definitely felt like that.
I guess the
But,
counts.
it's sort of very, very fun. Let's see. Is there anything else we could discuss when it comes to this level that comes to mind?
Not at the
The
moment.
lack of gameplay,
Well,
maybe?
People, gave it positive feedback, but then Dondoli did not really understand the story, and I'm just like,
I didn't-
was
what?
sad, but
I
it's
understood
okay,
the
not
story.
Everyone has to like it. I just think
It was just, that's
it's
all
a
it
very
was
kind of, I
story.
don't know, it's a hyper-specific plot, and sort of like either you're gonna be into it or maybe you're not gonna get it. I don't know. I didn't design the level to be.
I didn't get the whole Finland part. How was I supposed to?
Jokes. It was just sort of like my.
It just wasn't. It wasn't
It's
fun.
a well-designed
It's a
level,
book.
but it also
God
definitely
damn it!
relies on the story and the
Yes,
concept,
exactly.
the jokes. So I guess if that's not your cup of tea, then the level as a whole is also not your cup of tea.
Yes, there was no tea for me.
Don Dolly definitely has some hot takes, but I
What?
think it's a good thing.
Not a hot take.
I appreciate his hot takes. You know.
Why? Any level that has pretty
You know, as a
screens has to be
critic,
praised.
I think he deserves the how do you say it, the clout.
He does.
He's played so many levels by now.
Clout.
And
Yeah.
he's, I love his analysis. I respect his opinion. So yeah, I think that I definitely aim to impress Don in my artistic endeavors. He's not the center of everything I do by no means.
Are you sure?
But I definitely value his opinion a lot.
Yeah, he's got a good eye for KS stuff.
Yeah, at least he said my level
So-
looked good and
It
had
did look
good
good.
audio visual design.
Yes.
So I got that out.
All right,
Well,
you stroked my ego
that's
enough. You're
always very
forgiven.
good to hear.
And yeah.
And actually,
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh, what were you gonna say?
no, I just wanted to say we have this unique opportunity to talk to someone that is you about a level that's in the making right now.
Oh yeah.
So
Where is the
let's
code? I
hear
don't get
about
it.
that. Was the
Oh, I
level's
think I get it.
name announced yet?
Yes, I said the
I'm just
name
gonna
like
cheat again.
on
I'm too lazy.
Discord, probably in like Dondoli's Discord, like very quickly and casually. The level is called Eisthai, which is a old Greek word that appeared in the Bible, in the Greek Bible. And
Very curious
the level is
way of naming
it's
your
sort
levels.
of, it's about I'm using the sprite from
I guess they're
Knytt
cool
Nano
words.
to be in the level because
Oh,
I love
it supposed to be a
Knytt Nano,
shortcut?
and it made me so sad that she never appeared anywhere else. That she only had one story, and I thought that she
yeah, it's an interesting.
That's also
character.
supposed to be a shortcut.
She
These
needed
goddamn
interesting
blocks.
design.
needed. Yeah, she is interesting. She's got like pink hair, and she's taller than Uni.
Is that she's got like a hat? Or is
Pink
that
hair
her?
equals
beret.
interesting.
Yeah, that's a very cute, memorable design. She definitely has to appear in more levels.
I guess
so
I don't know
that's-
who
I'm
they're
happy
talking
that.
about.
And I am too. I hope she appears in some other levels. She doesn't have a name officially. She's an unnamed character. In my level, I decided to name her Alexandra because it's a name that works in Swedish
Let me on
and
to the podcast
in
page.
the United
It's
States.
in the
and,
description under the
With an
video.
X or KS?
with an X, I think.
Okay, because in Poland it's KS.
Yeah, I was surprised.
So it's more in line
was
with the game.
Surprised by
It's-
the X. Yes, it would be more in line
hello
with the
tops.
game on multiple levels. but
What's
I
that?
guess I'm not an expert on Swedish names, but Don Dolly's brother is named Alex, and that there's a Swedish guy with an X in his name. So there you go. And yeah, so I wanted to make a level with her, and then mix in
When did Sweden become
her guy
relevant
with and
to this
using
discussion?
the sprite from Knytt Nano.
Okay. So she's got like a. Let's be about that.
And I am too. I hope she appears in some other levels. She doesn't have a name officially. She's an unnamed character. In my level, I decided to name her Alexandra because it's a name that works in Swedish and in the United States.
Okay,
and,
yeah, Alexandra.
With an X or KS?
With an X, I think.
Okay, because in Poland it's KS.
Yeah, I was surprised.
So it's more in line with the game.
Surprised by
here?
the X. Yes, it would be more in line with the game on multiple levels. But I guess I'm not an expert on Swedish names, but Don Dolly's brother is named Alex, and
I mean they work in Swedish. They're not Swedish names.
And yeah, so
yeah,
I wanted
sure.
to make a level with her, and then mix in
After
some autobiographical
the Macedonian,
stuff
it's a
of
very
my
common
life.
name everywhere,
And,
right?
I guess the plot is that this is like a Knytt
Why
who
are there
goes
blocks
to a college, and I made the whole college and all these students, but then she discovers this portal in a tree and then goes to this surreal magic land. I think that's the basic plot. And then I made
Where's the
just
secret?
made a bunch of pretty environments. It's sort of like Shalev Part 2 basically in terms of level design. I'm kind of expanding on the concept, and I have one totally new concept, and that is I made a spooky house maze. It's new for me. Other people have made things like this, but it's kind of like a surreal maze, kind of inspired by Yume Nikki and also the book House of Leaves. And it's a maze with
Inspired by Yume Nikki.
75 shifts in it, and it's definitely got some creepy stuff in it.
Oh.
75 shifts. That sounds about right for House of Leaves inspired maze.
Have you read that
Sounds
Yes,
painful,
I read
but
the Polish
spooky too.
That
Maybe
sounds exquisite.
it can be done by the end of
it's
this
a
month.
Crazy book. I thought I read it in Spanish.
Alright, I think we're pretty much done here, right? Where the hell is the end of it though?
Blocks of time.
That's
something
crazy.
like that. I think that's the best way to read it. That's the best way to read it. When you get it first.
I like House of Leaves
You have to get
because
obsessed
there's a
with the
track
mystery
in
and
Manifold
spend
Garden
as
of that
much time
title.
as you possibly can with it. Just go crazy, and yeah, when you start to feel like you're losing your mind, that means that you read the book properly.
I think I took longer. I took
House of
2 or 3
Leaves.
months to read that book, so I did
It's
it in a mentally
supposed to mean book,
more,
right?
I'm not trying
A
to
book
call you
is a House
insane.
of
I
Leaves.
did it in a normie way. That's what I did.
No, that's
yeah.
not.
But I still got,
No.
I still got all those chills, and yeah. So I'll have to see how people react to the maze, and if they're into kind of that surreal horror thing, and
That sounds like the kind of thing I would love.
a
So
cool thing.
I'm looking forward to it. So is that as much as you want to divulge for now?
I guess I will say that there's a lot of ambient music in the level, and I'm
Nice.
using music from somewhat established musicians. I got some, I got permission from some people. But
Permission?
then I'm also using music from little known musicians
I guess I don't need
that
anything
I'm
'cause I
personally
have
friends
another-
with. And well, yeah, I think it's gonna be the level is gonna be almost like a
Unfinished.
Prestigious soundtrack.
Well, they aren't super famous artists or anything, but
It's
thank
still
you.
very
It's,
exciting.
Sounds
I think
great.
That kind of music.
Is there gonna be
has-
gameplay?
It does. I think for me, my love of ambient music and my love for video games is very much they have a strong relationship.
I
That's
agree.
a Hollow
That's,
enemy.
that's true.
So that's all. I
Ah!
think that it'll probably be done.
That's a ghost.
I could imagine it maybe
Yeah.
being done in July, and this will be my longest level development. I guess maybe 6 or 7 months.
That sounds sounds like a.
She said
solid
July.
level in the making. Are
Man,
you?
this is
there
an
any
old episode of the
particular direction,
podcast. It's still not done.
You're taking this
Or
level
is it done?
in any kind of point of focus, area you focus on. For example, I want to make it more challenging, or I want to make it more pretty when it comes to the background, stuff like that.
That was a really good question. I really appreciate that question. It was well created.
Oh, there's a dripper.
I think I
Ripper.
want to focus a lot on the details. There's a lot of I did not make any custom tile sets for it, but I'm modifying a lot of I'm modifying
What's that
a
sound?
lot of already existent tile sets and like adding small details, and there's a lot of interior spaces, so there's like little edits to furniture and wallpaper, and like one place of residence has like a desk with a computer on it, and I like made
Nope, again, I got so confused by the
I've
block.
been receiving a lot of assistance, like Plural has helped me a lot with the tile sets, and Lana has made some, and
I don't understand these blocks.
There's a lot of collaborating going on. So details, and then I also want to make the level easy. There's no like significant challenges or like trick jumps.
God damn,
or
just
anything.
people
So
complain
I want
about
it
that
to be
one
like a
screen with the
leveled out,
bouncers
like,
and
sort of running
and
around
now it's
sort
gonna
of
be a
joyfully
freaking walking
jumping.
simulator.
Nice.
My level will have lots of ambient music in it, and
Rip.
yeah, it's expected this summer sometime, because I'm
Yeah,
starting
expected this
graduate
summer.
school in the fall, so I better.
But when I
focus
complain
on my
about story,
project
no one
before then.
changes anything.
True.
Yes, it is.
Deadline is very happy.
Because my opinion
It
doesn't
definitely
matter
is.
at the end
Projects
of
like
it.
that. By the way, I found
Oh, well.
my DMs to you from the forum. Yeah, I found my
Not
DMs.
happy. Where the hell is that
and
fucking thing?
Turns out I didn't rip you off. I actually beta tested the level. It's just that I was an
Oh,
ass
yes, spoiler.
and
What?
I forgot, but you can see screenshots here. Apparently I
Oh,
loved
is this
the
the
icon,
end?
and I
Oh,
thought
okay.
the level had a classic Knytt stories feel, and I gave some valuable
Yeah.
feedback,
This is
I guess, here and there.
Yeah,
Kind of
complain about
forum
her Blindergurk level. I wasn't really a big fan of it because it was just good looking screens and story. There was like no gameplay. I don't really complain about the story. Well, are you being sarcastic because I complain about story all the time? I just want gameplay, alright? I'm not here to read a book, okay? I'm too low IQ for that. I just want to run and jump.
Yeah, these look like really good feedback, and like solid grass, and height effect, and void screen. Some very some solid
That's
feedback.
I'm leaving
I
this community.
implemented almost all your feedback, I think.
Yeah, that's good. I'm happy I didn't actually like.
I'm not gonna read it
display
'cause I don't wanna
give
cry.
any feedback. Okay, I just misremembered. I mean, I used to beta test quite a few levels.
Yeah, this is
No.
a fun little Easter egg bonus, something like that.
You always
Nexus
make a
and
good
I's
mix
first DM
of story and
on
gameplay,
the
though.
forum, now part of our podcast.
Why would you
That's-
stop?
That's good. There's one
Okay.
big staple question we didn't touch on yet, which is discuss your favorite levels of all time. Do you have a single
I do.
pick for your favorite
Oh,
level?
it's my level.
I do have
Or
a
do you
favorite
have
level.
a
Come on, my
single-
level.
Okay, that's great because usually people, have to.
My favorite
Name at
level
least
of all
5.
time is the column.
So what is it?
Oh,
The
yeah.
column is a
Oh,
level
I knew
by
that.
Kubaka.
Elaborate.
I guess I
Like
should replay
explaining
that.
the level for viewers. It was released in 2016, I think.
Okay.
I think it's made with vanilla.
Oh, I thought it was
which
older,
not
actually. I thought it was like an
necessary,
OG level.
as, there's like a part with a lot of dialogue in it, and I
Oh,
don't know if
Pog!
KS Plus would have come in handy there. It's okay though. And then it's a very vertical level, and you choose based on what direction you run in the first area. You either ascend to
I think I was
sky,
just too
or
bad
you
at KS to
descend
really enjoy that
to
level
the
back
ground,
then,
and
or to enjoy
I
it
just
as much
find
as
the
it
level
deserves.
so profound.
Yeah.
I just something about the
3D
design and the environment and the progression of the environment. I just find it's really moving and touching, even though it's completely abstract and it doesn't have like a literal story or message. So I thought it pulls out all the stops. I think it's a perfectly made. Definitely some Hold-S stuff there that I needed. I needed Dondoli's help with his video quite a bit for this level.
I guess I wasn't
the
that
first
bad then?
time I tried to play it, which was 6 years ago, I couldn't get very far, and then right around the time I picked up KS again,
I don't remember that from when
finally
I
was
played the
able to
level.
finish the column, and after a couple months of
God,
thinking,
this area
I'm
is
like, oh
not
my God,
great,
this is my
is it?
favorite level, but it's tough, and I think it's cool how when you're going up, you get the umbrella, but you don't have hologram, and then when you go down, there's no umbrella, but you do get holograms, so there's kind of focus on different power-ups based on whether you go up or down. It's there's a lot of thought went into the level. Apparently, it only took 1 month to make. He must have been working on it for 8 hours a day or something. Create something that good in 1 month.
Yeah, I remember being very impressed as well. You make me wanna replay it.
Me too.
I think it's worth replaying. One
probably
area
is,
in the
yeah.
level that I was really impressed by is toward the top where it has
Oh, I
all
can
these
go down
umbrella
there?
challenges. Like at the very top,
Oh.
the level stops using tiles.
Holy shit, what
There's
the-
a lot of screens that only have a gradient and these kind of like objects. These like the block objects. So there's no tiles that work in a lot of the screens, and I thought that's crazy. That you don't see that super often. I could do a whole literary analysis.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
Some
I
backroom
can
shit,
say
what's
much
going
about
on?
It, but because
No.
I played it so long ago. But you make
I
a
hope so.
make a very compelling case for it.
I know it's a good level.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
choking.
that's something
water
that I choke
bit
on
here.
water too. As
What's-
for other levels I like, I
No.
have a list I've written out
No.
here of my favorite levels. There's kind of
Baby jail.
I focus on. I did. I already had it
Oh, you
written
came
though.
prepared.
I love Dark Sky of Wish Mountain. I definitely
Yeah,
always
that's a good
tear
one.
up at the end. I love Harvest and The Hunt by Farik. I think he has.
The
I don't
Hunt.
know if it's a man or a woman.
They have a very
Yeah, it's like
distinctive
very
feel.
traditional, kind of like a
to the
focus
levels.
on like country life almost. And even at the end of The Hunt, like, you know, there's this theme
The
of
Hunt?
like family and like family unit and
Just
see
gonna
what else
search
do I
for it
like?
in my
One,
YouTube channel.
and you know, Tiger NDV
Alright.
is like truly is the most out there and professional.
Oh, with the
level
boat and you go to like
developer.
island hopping.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's a nice
Yeah.
one.
Yes, I hope he comes back soon. Drops a couple
The
more
Rising
levels.
Star.
Yeah, I'll
Wait,
go
what was
bother
this one?
him and say we miss him.
Farik, or-
The Hunt, like and like family unit and see what else do I like? One and you know Tiger NDV is
Tiger, yeah.
truly is the most out there and professional.
What happened to Tiger? That's a good freaking point. Dropping world-class levels, arguably the best level ever. You know, the island one. You know which one. I don't think it's the best ever, but I could understand if someone would think that. Shout out to Tiger. We miss you.
Level developer. You know,
Yeah.
yes, I hope he comes back soon.
Yeah.
Drops a couple more
Rising
levels.
Star.
Yeah.
I'll go bother him and say we miss him.
Please
That would
do.
be nice.
You know, I love Devil's Triangle, My Friend Jerry.
Devil Triangle,
Above
yeah.
the Clouds is fucking beautiful. Yeah, Devil's Triangle is something else.
It's
so
so
yeah,
good.
he really, you know, it's hard not to love what he does.
It's
although
too good.
Some of his stuff is very difficult. And one level I really love is oh, did you have something to say?
Yeah, his stuff is
Mm-hmm.
definitely so much detail and polish goes into those levels. Yeah, it's another whole new level of
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
quality.
I think
Yeah,
he
he
really
puts into that
puts
stuff.
all of us
Pretty
to shame,
insane.
to be honest. I
We're gonna have to look at it that
I have
way,
to
but
dedicate
yes.
a huge
Unfortunately.
part of my life
For
that
us.
I'd have to like give up so much of my life to
not-
make Tiger NDV quality levels if I even had that capability. I
You're
might not.
all so
And
good
then,
at your freaking
one
levels that it's
level
all
that
unbelievable.
really impressed
Not
me
just
was
him.
Hostile Landscape by Polana,
Yeah, that one is
which
good.
seems like a level that would like
I
hurt
love,
your eyes.
yeah. So Tiger levels are like quality, polish, how you sort of expect a good level to look, whereas you have stuff like that Polana level, which just has such a strong artistic vision. That like objectively, if you compare it with Devil's Triangle, it's supposed to look much worse or whatever, but yeah, it's like a strong vision, a strong style like that can go so far. I liked My Friend Jerry more. My Friend Jerry was like crazy memorable and cool and unique, yes, but again, it's very like story puzzle based, whereas Devil's Triangle is like it's got it all.
Be really repetitive because there's only like 3 colors in that level and they're really harsh and silhouette.
Am I done
and-
here?
Have you played that level?
No, I don't
Maybe
think
Umbrella
played
is
the
what I needed?
last one, but I love her early ones. Her first level was made over 10 years ago. My favorite of hers is Many Islands.
Many
Yeah,
Islands
they're
is
so
amazing.
beautiful,
Yeah,
the
that
Polana
one's awesome.
Well,
levels.
she's sort of taken a hard pivot to abstract levels.
I love abstract. That's
so-
personally, I
Wait,
love
wait,
abstract.
She made a level called Pointless. It was 10 years ago, and then last year there was a version 2 released.
Yeah, because I played it and
didn't notice
changed
that.
something.
I'm noticing it right now as I look at the level list.
Yeah, that's definitely. I know that Drakan was also, or Draken, however you like to pronounce it. He updated his levels like 13 years after the fact, which is like, whoa.
Yeah.
There's like so many versions of.
Yeah, hostile landscape.
There's so many versions of Frozen Mountain too that I probably feel like the first version and the last one is like different levels. I don't know. I think like the whole cloud angel area, it doesn't even exist in the first version.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
his levels Frozen Mountain 2 might have maybe. I think it had a KSX version.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
now
too.
It has a KS Plus version, so it kind of switched the mods.
I have
Isn't there a
which is very
fucking
interesting.
thing
no
here
clue
somewhere?
how he did that.
I don't have
yeah,
I
I
yet.
know he was one of the only adopters of KSX. Although Polana is making her next level will be KSX, and I tested it, and it's weird to test
Really?
a KSX level. Yeah, it has. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just call it
That someone
K6. I know you
would
want
be
to.
making a KSX level. Very interesting though.
Yeah, it's definitely out of left field, but Hostile Landscape is amazing. It's very harsh, only uses 3 colors, and a lot of the enemies have been recolored.
That's so
The
cool
color
that the
palette,
the enemies
there's
being
a,
recolored.
intense maze, which inspired me a lot.
The
and,
maze is
the
cool.
Power-ups are
Even
all like
for a maze, yeah.
restyled to be like obscure, like symbol.
Yeah,
And
that's a bit much, but I
it's
still
a
like
truly
it.
unique level that has a really focused concept and artistic
this-
design, and I actually was so impressed by that level that I messaged her and I told her how much I loved the level, and I think it sort of like started a friendship and collaboration. So I think that's a
Guys!
good way to start a friendship. Being
Friendships?
of someone's work. So
You're supposed to compete for
Have you played,
best level
a
maker.
level called Gustav's Song.
Yes, I love that level. It was among the
I
first.
think I
PS
played that
levels.
one, right?
Yeah,
That's a
that
really old
one's
one.
really good. I mentioned it because of the competition you're hosting.
Yeah, Gustav's contest, which hopefully will have abundant entries. It already has.
I really want to play that straight flame level. Everyone seems to
I
like
hope,
it.
we get to play some.
When the hell
good
does this
stuff.
contest end? It's been going on forever.
I'll have to at everyone in the Discord who's working on a level and remind them of
Please.
the deadline soon. I want to drum up some hype.
But I think we touched upon all the important points
Yes.
until now. We kind of touched upon Niflas games beforehand, but about the
Level
the
maker.
concepts.
I should do something
We
like that.
Mentioned before how we both love Oft 99's
Right.
dances a lot.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I
he's,
should make my own
he's
contest, to be
very
honest.
skilled.
And
I would love to
about
judge those.
others. Are there any other titles that you love?
I think that I'm a huge fan of.
I would love people to make levels for me to
Creative
enjoy.
vision is amazing. Created something truly unique. I like Mistglurgist Rothgluff's tile set. The both the pink and the blue one are good. I think in both.
Which one was that?
Like the turquoise cave in the machine with the orange fuzzy grass.
That's
Oh,
a nice tile
yeah.
set.
That one I like, and
Yeah,
then
that's very good.
I used the pink one in Shalev. I like, Flower Garden. I like, let's see. I'm just
don't-
looking through Shalev.
I'm not good at
so many of the
tile
tile
set
sets.
names. I should
I
learn.
used the, let's see, the Wawa
Maybe
tile
that'll-
set by
that'll take away some of the
Mulberry, in
magic.
both of my levels. So I would have to say that he has given me lots of mileage. There's the Blue Plants by Niflis. I
What's
love
that sound
Niflis
again?
tile sets, and then and then there's just like so much good custom content. I
Yawning.
think the Anderson brothers have made some really amazing things. There's so much quality there. So.
Which ones were that?
They made the one Hanseatic Town. I don't know if that's how you say it. They made Diagonal Sandstone. And
Yeah, I think I recognize those.
they're just on a new level of quality.
Yeah.
So, and as for other Niflis games I like, I just wanted to quickly get it off my chest. Give a review.
Necessary level of
Knytt is
nerdy,
great. Knytt Underground is fucking amazing. Night Sky's relaxing.
Wait,
Divinity
is
Forest
fucking
is
amazing
very
better than great?
special. This is all very obvious information. I've never played Syra or Fink. I've never really had interest. Ernog looks really good. Gameplay isn't
Fink
quite
is
to
weird.
my taste. I only played that game once, and I played the Inglet demo, but haven't really been
Ugh.
interested in playing the full thing. I think, to be honest with you, I'm one of those Niflis fans that's kind of stuck in the past. I think a lot of us are.
Yeah, I guess I'm
Well,
the same.
yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting episode. we managed to get talk about your creations in depth. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
onto
coming on your own.
our podcast.
Yeah, it was great to be interviewed by you. You asked great questions, and I, sort of discovered things about my own level and creative process while talking about them, which is something that I think we all need as artists.
Welcome everyone to the
Another
second
abrupt
episode
ending.
of Knytt
Still haven't learned the
Symposium.
ending. All right. Well, that was a very enjoyable conversation to listen to. God damn this floor. I do agree that the cuts, the edit, is a bit over aggressive. The editing, I do appreciate the effort that went into it. It must have taken some time to cut out every little pause between every word. So I do appreciate the thought of it, but it's a bit distracting, a bit much. Could use it, in places, but not all the time like that. But yeah, just a really lovely thing. I wasn't sure what are they gonna be talking about really for a full hour. I think I said the same thing last time. Like I was worried that I was gonna get bored after an hour. Like an hour is a long time to listen to some conversation, but I guess the topic is quite interesting. So I really enjoy that. I learned a lot about Vlindergurk. Am I not supposed to get like all the coins here? I might have randomized away a lot of them, so I don't know if it's going to be possible to continue properly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any specific comments on what I just listened to, other than it was very enjoyable. Next episode is Utah's. Cool. All right, so we're gonna skip that one and then go straight to episode 4. Just in case there's rambling on. Yeah, that works. What is this level? This is Lucinda's newest level. Yeah, I feel like this should be sort of how I should do it. I randomize the level of the author that is being interviewed. So Taubes, I guess you get to choose. Which level do you want me to randomize while I listen to your episode? It's a good question, isn't it? I wonder which one I would want. Which level would lend itself well to randomizing? It's quite hard to determine. What was such a restricted area. Like these rules I'm using now, they don't really mess up the gameplay too much. And they don't really present too difficult of challenges most of the time, so I can focus on listening. I think it's quite good, but maybe I need to spice it up a bit. Oh yeah, you need to create a category just for bouncers, just so you can easily add bouncers. I know you're gonna say that, oh, you should just add object 46, 70. For the Fantavo, the one, the puzzly one. I can't remember the name of his levels. The ones where you press down on light sources to go from screen to screen. It's gotta be my favorite of his levels. Or I guess maybe the Dondoli level I should do. For the fans. I think I need 50 coins. Wait, what? Did you call me a champ? She did. Petals? I don't think cramped should matter with these rules. I mean, think about, so the rules I'm using here, they only add enemies that already existed in the level. So if you have a lot of big hollow enemies or whatever that would block, then maybe it would be a problem. I can always cheat past such spots. But if you don't have a bunch of those, then it should be fine. Wasn't there more accessible coins like in the sky somewhere? I'm not sure if am I supposed to continue playing now? Like the episode is over. People got what they wanted. Petals too, but I have to get secret ending. What, did I not get that? I know there was something I missed in Petals too, some sort of a secret or wasn't it a toast maybe even? This one is solid. Man, I need that one coin. Okay. So somehow I end up at exactly 50. But the coins are randomized with other stuff in the level. How did that happen? The video is like 4 hours long. Oh yeah, secret ending is like when you backtrack to the beginning, right? Or do you always do that? I know you backtrack to the beginning and part of it. And I remember searching the beginning area and yeah, there was a lot. I'm not gonna promise to get the secret ending. The fun thing about second playthroughs is you don't have to hug every wall and check every corner. Inspiration, watching me play Manifold Garden. What? For the Petals 2 secret ending? How? That sounds amazing. I love for you guys to be inspired by Manifold Garden. Especially me playing it. Yeah. Oh, that sound of the ghost's block sound used to indicate portal opening or gate opening. It was so muted, I don't think I heard it last time because I didn't use headphones. Wow, some neat details in the sound. Alright, so Petals 2. I mean, Petals 2 seems like a great choice. It is very tight, as you say, very narrow, but it should be fine. If I have to cheat too much, it might not be so fun. Meow, says the waterfall. Probably some wall swims. Yeah. There's another Alexandra. Wait, is this the level she was talking about? It was, wasn't it? And it's a good level. I think I'm just confused because I think she's working on yet another level. So I thought they were talking about that one. Okay. Well, now I need to re-listen to the podcast because now I understand what level they're talking about was the level that I'm playing. Right, that's why they didn't talk about it. I was surprised that they were talking so much about Blinder Group and not this level. Because this one wasn't out yet and it's coming out. Ah, I'm so stupid. Man, that must be so frustrating watching me. Must have been so frustrating watching me talk like that, not understanding. But I understand now. I had a realization because I read one dialogue that said Alexandra. So it's all fine in the end. I get it. All right. Special thanks to me. Yes. Man, a lot of ego tripping for me this stream. Not complaining. All right. Yeah, that was episode 2. Episode 3 coming up soon. Hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. One day she mysteriously disappears forever. Indeed, yeah. Speaking of that, the Vegetal Gibber episode will be later too, so a lot to look forward to.